For 13 long years in Mecca, the early believers had endured almost everything. They were mocked, beaten, starved through a cruel boycott, and some were tortured simply for saying that there is no God but Allah. The pressure had become unbearable. And so, at last, permission came from Allah for the believers to leave the only home most of them had ever known. Quietly, in small and secret groups, the believers began to slip out of Mecca. Their destination was a city to the north called Yathrib, where the message had already taken root. The leaders of the Quraysh watched their enemies escape, and a deep fear gripped them. If this man reached a city of his own, his power might one day return to destroy them. So the chiefs of every clan gathered in their council hall to decide his fate. They argued through the night, until they settled on a single, ruthless plan. One strong young man would be chosen from each and every clan. Together, as one, they would strike him down. His blood would be spread across all the tribes, so no single family could ever take revenge. That night, the assassins gathered outside his house and waited for him to sleep. But Allah, who never sleeps, had already warned his prophet of the plot. The prophet, peace be upon him, turned to his young cousin Ali and asked him to lie in his bed and wear his green cloak, so the watchers would believe he was still inside. And then, calmly, he walked out into the night, right past the men who had come to kill him. They never saw him leave. He went to the house of his closest friend, Abu Bakr, who had been ready and waiting for this moment, even weeping with joy that he had been chosen to go. But the two of them did not head north toward Yathrib, as everyone would expect. Instead they went south, in the opposite direction, to outwit anyone who would hunt them. High on a rugged mountain they found a small cave, the Cave of Thor. There the two of them hid, and waited, for 3 long nights. By now, all of Mecca was in an uproar. The Quraysh announced a staggering reward, equal to their full blood money, for him, captured alive or dead. Bounty hunters and expert trackers spread across the desert in every direction. And one group followed the trail right up to the mouth of the cave. Inside, Abu Bakr could see their feet at the entrance. In a trembling whisper he said, "If just one of them looks down, he will surely see us." And the prophet answered him with words that Allah preserved in the Quran forever, "Do not grieve. Indeed, Allah is with us." A deep tranquility descended upon them. And the searchers, standing just steps away, turned around and walked back down the mountain empty-handed. Through those nights, Abu Bakr's own children secretly carried food and news up the mountain, while a shepherd drove his flock over their footprints to erase the trail. When the danger had cooled, a trusted desert guide led them out along hidden, forgotten routes, far from the eyes of Mecca, toward the north and toward Yathrib. Even then, one last hunter almost reached them. A warrior named Suraka chased them down on his swift horse, the reward burning in his mind. But as he closed in, his horse stumbled and sank into the soft sand, again and again, until he understood that this traveler was protected by something greater than him. Suraka begged for peace and turned back. And the prophet promised him that one day he would wear the golden bracelets of the Emperor of Persia. Years later, that promise came true. Then, after days beneath a punishing sun, the palm groves of Yathrib finally appeared on the horizon. The hardest journey was nearly over. For days the people of the city had climbed to the rooftops and watched the road, waiting. When word spread that he had come, the whole city poured out in joy. Yathrib opened its arms and its homes. From that day it earned a new name, Madinat an-Nabi, the city of the Prophet, the city we now simply call Medina. This single journey mattered so much that the entire Islamic calendar begins from it. Not from his birth, not from the first revelation, but from the Hijra. Because the Hijra teaches us something we forget. Leaving everything behind for the sake of Allah is never the end. It is the beginning. Whatever you are being asked to leave behind today, trust the same promise that calmed a cave. Do not grieve. Allah